I stand for open questioning of authorities. I stand for honesty, fact-based reasoning, and debate. I oppose all censorship, including hate speech laws. I reject name-calling and insults. I am Bill Warner. I have a new method of teaching and debating about Islam, and it uses the Shahada. The Shahada is the declaration there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Let's show how it works with apologist. An apologist is someone who is not a Muslim but defends Islam. So ask your apologist friend, do you believe there's no God but Allah? Well, no. Do you believe that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah? No. Well, then we agree on this. Both you and I believe that Islam is a false doctrine. Now, you may get some pushback at this point because they'll say, well, wait a minute, we can't say anything bad about Islam like it's false. Islam is one of the great religions. Point this out to your friend. That all of Islam is based on the Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad. So if you don't believe in Allah and Muhammad, then you don't believe in Islam. But it does give a contradiction. Why will you support something that you think is false? It's not true, but they defend it. Now let's see how this method works with Muslims. Ask the same question. Do you believe there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is his messenger? And they'll go, yes, they have to. I tell them that the Quran is a man-made document and that Muhammad was deluded. My point is this. There's no compromise here there's no middle ground. There's nothing halfway between a perfect Quran and just another book. The best we can do is to understand each other's point of view. It's not a matter of right or wrong, it's point of view. Here's the big picture. I find that Muslims, if you're talking to them, always are right about Islam, and the kafirs are always wrong because they don't understand Islam. Why don't kafirs ever understand Islam? The proof is simple. If you understood Islam, you'd become a Muslim. So, here's another new method about educating about Islam. I'm always looking for simple methods, and you don't have to know anything about Islam other than something Muhammad said or did that you don't like. So let's say you're dealing with an apologist friend. You say to them, Muhammad had many slaves, he sold them wholesale, he sold them retail, he gave them and received them as gifts. Will you condemn and reject Muhammad the slave trader? Now, if they're a real apologist, they may push back and say, well, Christians had there's slavery in the Old Testament, whatever. Or they may change the subject, or they'll say there's bad stuff in the Bible. Don't argue, don't engage them. Just say, so you will not condemn and reject Muhammad the slave trader. Simple. Here's another one. Muhammad had poets and others killed because they opposed him. Do you condemn and reject Muhammad's killing people who opposed Islam? Now, if they push back, don't argue, just say, so you will not condemn Muhammad's having people killed who opposed him. Pattern is simple. You bring up something Muhammad did that harmed kafirs, and you ask, will you condemn and reject this? Whenever they argue, change the subject, bash Christians or Jews, attack whatever, don't engage them. Just say, so you will not condemn and reject, and go to your next story. Now, you can do this with the Quran, but I don't recommend it. The Quran is a tricky document to work with, whereas Muhammad, he's a man, so you can understand that. The hardest part is not to reply to their attacks, denials, and changing the subject. Just stay with, so you will not condemn. Now, the same method works for Muslims, only you'll get a much stronger denial. Here's an example. Muhammad married Aisha at age 6 and consummated the marriage at age 9. Will you condemn and reject Muhammad for sex with children? Now, they're going to push back, and mostly if you're dealing with a Muslim, they'll say, oh, that didn't happen. So just come back and say, so you will not condemn having sex with 9-year-olds. Don't debate. Just push forward and say, so you will not condemn. So this is a very simple method. It simply asks the person to condemn and reject something that's immoral, and it works for both apologists and Muslims. Try it. Thank you.